Hi, Meher. Really good to see you here. I think finally we are doing this live session.
Yeah,
Pretty excited for this today.
yeah, same here, Sunny. Thanks a lot for inviting. I think we've been talking since a while, but I think since the day one that you moved on from Amazon, I remember, you know, getting in touch with you because you were all over the place. You were talking everywhere, you were meeting people. And I think from that day to now, the rest is a history. And super impressed in the way your journey has been. And thank you for inviting. Yeah, it's really nice to be here with you.
Yeah, we'll keep it very candid.
Hmm.
Very, I think it's about two experienced people from the industry coming up with their own
Yeah,
stories, with their own experience.
yeah.
Maybe you are an expert. मैं खुद को expert नहीं बोलता हूँ. So I'll just
That's
talk
that.
about, I think, pretty much experienced people. But I always look forward to you as well, especially towards your post, your energy, your vibe. I think you're always smiling. And I think if I have learned a bit of AMC and DSP, I think it's because of your post as well.
Oh my God.
Very solid, pretty actionable, very much required for the audience as well. And it's been like great always interacting with you. I think every quarter 6 महीने में एक connect तो हमारा हो
100% होता ही है and होना भी चाहिए. I think the two great minds, they keep talking to each other, something comes out valuable for the peers, for the audience, and for everybody. So lovely.
yeah.
So I think, how do you want to set this up, Sunny? You want to just quickly introduce yourself, and then I'll introduce myself, and then we'll lay the floor out for us to talk about, some things, and then we graduate into talking about Prime Day. I think the India Prime Day is announced. So
Right.
congratulations. I think it's starting on 4th, 5th, and 6th. And I
Right.
think 3 days in India, but 4 days in,
4 days in
in the rest of the
all the
world.
countries. Yeah.
Yeah, all the
So
countries.
I think for the audience, this is Sunny Vadvani with around, I bring in around 8 years of experience. And even after quick commerce, Amazon is still very close to my heart because I think that's where I started earning my bread and butter from 2018. Started my career with very small organizations. I think I would remember 17, 18, 19, mein everyone was just voting from China, beauty, tempered glass, mobile covers. That's how I started my career as well. Then moved to Upscale You and then moved to Amazon. Was fortunate enough to be part of Amazon as well, a part of core
Nice.
Amazon ads team, was working with brands like Boat, Noise, and JBL as
Wow.
well. So
Nice.
left too early due to my own personal reasons, wanted to build something of my own. And then I think worked as a freelancer for 1 year and then converted into a full-time growth marketing agency. And very,
Wow.
I think, excited to have this conversation today. And one more thing, we're currently working with 20 plus brands, team of 10, founder of Groupreneur, and we are active everywhere. I tell to
Yeah.
everyone, think before following me because the moment you will follow me, you will find me on your feed daily, irrespective it is YouTube, Instagram, or LinkedIn.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And I think, just to extend your introduction, you just don't do Amazon, you do beyond Amazon as well. I think Q-commerce is also your strength, and you picked it up pretty
Yeah,
early.
it has become, I think, a huge
Yeah.
strength. That's where I think January 2026, we started deeper diving into quick commerce. So today we do Amazon, India, Global, Flipkart, Myntra, and of course, all the three quick commerce as well, which I think after AI, quick commerce is the next biggest buzzword I feel, especially in India.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
over to you, Meher, if you want
Yeah,
to add
thank
more.
you. Thanks a lot, Sunny. I think, as I mentioned, it has been inspiring to see your journey and lovely hearing from you. And also the Q-commerce piece. If you've learned something from me, I would say that I have learned Q-commerce from you. And I think you should continue writing around that as well because it's a new commerce for India, and I think Amazon is catching up on that as well by Amazon now. Now that it's in the US as well, 30 minutes delivery, it's really catching up. So, a small introduction about me. My name is Meher, and I think I started as a performance marketing agency. Till today, we've always been a performance marketer first agency, and we started with Google and Meta, and then we graduated into Amazon, and then it just extended into Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, Blinkit, Insta, Zepto, BigBasket, all of them. And we don't do anything apart from performance. So that's like we only go deeper into performance, but we don't do SEO, we don't do listing, we don't do catalog management, we don't do supply chain. We don't do any of those things because we don't understand that. And I think the more we don't understand that, the deeper we understand the advertising. And I think that's the DNA of our agency. And with addition to the agency, we built a platform which is Hector, and which is a hardcore Amazon first advertising optimization platform, which connects into sponsored ads, DSP, and Amazon Marketing Cloud.
I think great to hear. Even I got to know some things which I wasn't aware. So, right, jumping into not taking more of audience's time as well, because if they want to know more, they have a lot of
Yeah,
content about
yeah,
us. They can,
obviously.
of course,
Yeah.
study more about us as well. So, starting jumping into Prime Day in US, the dates are already there, 23 to 26 June. In India, it's already announced 4th, 5th, 6th, and July. And we both have been seeing Prime Day. I think I'm seeing since 18, almost a decade. Now it's 2026. Earlier it used to be really buzzy. And I think if I feel that thoda bahut it has started stabilizing a bit. It was only a day, always used to be for 2 days before, but now it has started extending to 3 days and even 4 days as well. So a lot of countries wait for them. I think India, yes, there are other events as well, but for the other countries, I think it's one of the, or maybe comes at the second as well for Prime Day. So over to you, I think, in terms of preparations for Prime Day, I'll also add my POV after you. In terms of preparations for Prime Day, especially when you've been coming as an expert or veteran from performance marketing, there is a lot of confusions around people. They have that, okay, now the sale is coming. Let me increase my ad spends. But very less is being talked about the right structure, where actually to increase, where to actually deeper dive into the audiences as well. So, what do you think? What should be the right structure, especially for, and we'll take it from both the points of view,
Yeah.
considering that the US one is like 3 days away and India is just 2 weeks. What would be, I think, the structure that you would suggest to both the kinds of audiences watching this?
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Sunny. I think Prime Day last year in the US was almost like $24 billion. That's like 4 days, first time by Amazon.
Hmm. Right.
And that was like the biggest Prime Day ever for Amazon. It was like two Black Fridays coming together in 4 days. That was how big Prime Day was for the US market. But I would say that it doesn't really mean that the advertising efficiency is unlike what it used to be before. It's just that it is spread across 4 days. Like, it's not that the traffic has tremendously increased, it just spread across 4 days.
Right.
One of the important aspect that I believe that as a performance marketer, we've always had this in our DNA is there is no macro structure. There is always a granular structure. So if there is a structure for Prime Day, there is a structure for a ASIN at a time, one ASIN at a time. A ASIN which has a very good organic ranking has a different strategy altogether. A ASIN which doesn't have an organic ranking has a different strategy altogether, which will have a lot of advertising, top of search going in. For an ASIN which organically ranks high, you have to lower down your spends because you're already ranking in the top three. You don't have to invest too much. You don't have to spend too much on top of the search and all of those part of the. And if you're launching an ASIN, then it's a different strategy altogether, right? And one of the important aspect out here is also to every ASIN falls into certain subcategory. I'm not even talking about category. So the nodes that you are falling into, that ASIN that falls into, you really
Mhm.
need to look at who's the competitor who's triggering when there is the most important search term being searched on that. Every marketer, every brand has to be aware of the first, I would say, the five organic ranking ASINs, and also the ones who are aggressively advertising. And what are you up against? Because if you're up
Mhm.
against somebody who has like 20,000 reviews against you having, 1,000 review or even 100 reviews, and if your pricing is twice as high than that guy, I don't think top of the search is important for you. So it's about making sure that what battle you have to fight for each ASIN at a time. So the strategy is different for every ASIN, and every brand and every marketer has to understand this piece very clearly. The other important piece, and I think we can talk about that later on a broader perspective after you finish talking, is Prime Day strategy doesn't start on Prime Day. Prime Day strategy starts 7 days before Prime Day. So if people in the US, if you've not worked on Prime Day strategy, you are too late.
You're too late. Absolutely.
Right? You're too late, right? Prime Day comes with, I think you need to look at it from the way you buy as well, because you are also one of the buyers for a few of the products which is getting sold and the brands which is also advertising. How do you see those brands? Are you a repeat customer? If you see the same product that you bought in past on Amazon, if you see that same product today, where the Prime Day is 3 days, 4 days later, would you add that product in the cart? And if you don't see that product, if you see your competitor's product, would you not consider that product? You probably will consider that product. You probably might just
Right.
put that on into the cart, especially if it is showing that it is going to be discounted. Right? Again, a pricing strategy is very important. If you are on top of the search, if you are beating the discount with your competitor, I think this is the time for you to win that war. And I think that's a strategy that everybody has to look at. And deeper dive into that, if you prepare yourself before Prime Day, then DSP AMC is your best friend. It's your best friend. I think the kind of audiences that you can create on
Absolutely.
Amazon Marketing Cloud and the kind of audiences that you can create in DSP and the CPC that you get with those audience on DSP, it's unmatched. It's almost like
Absolutely.
one third the CPC. And especially I'm talking about before Prime Day. And so if you're preparing yourself and if you're preparing before Prime Day, then this is your time that you start investing in that traffic, in that audience, which is closer, which is in the consideration stage. Push them so that they start putting your product to the cart, so that they become as part of your retargeting audience, so that when the Prime Day is live, you see that ball rolling, you see that orders coming in. And yeah, I think that's where the journey is. And I believe the investment starts before Prime Day, not just on Prime Day. And you're going to see a bulk of traffic on the first day. You're going to
Yeah.
see a short of traffic on the second day, and the third day the traffic will rise again. And
Yeah.
that's where you need to invest. I would say that after the Prime Day, it is just going to get. It's like, you finish the match and you're just like the last few balls, or you're just warming up, right? And then comes the BAU period again.
BAU.
But yes, even after the Prime Day, you can exclude the audience who have purchased your product, and you can actually continue retargeting on Amazon, off Amazon, using DSP. And if you guys are not going to do that, again, you've invested in those people who added your product to the cart, did not buy
Did not buy.
before, during the Prime, and you've not further invested even after the Prime Day, at least for the 2 to 3 days. You're not taking the last penny out of the initial investment that you've done to get those people in. So that's my take on Prime Day, Sunny. How do you see this? Is there anything that I have missed, because your perspective is also different, and I would love to hear any additional things that you see and how you see it.
I always usually divide this into two parts. One is, of course, one is advertisement, and second is non-advertisement.
Yeah,
Because in order to plan for ads, that planning starts months before. Any bigger sale event, irrespective of any country, the planning for because the planning for which SKUs I need to sell more, the inventory planning, the assortment
yeah,
planning, and that planning also needs to look at how was my demand last year as well. Because basis on that, I don't need to be very poor in my forecasting.
Right.
whether that is inventory, demand, or even sales forecasting as well. I don't want to overpile up my inventory on wrong ASINs or wrong SKUs. So there are multiple platforms, tools, and all available that would make you take the right decision before reaching to ads. That okay, these are the right set of SKUs. If the last year demand was 10x, I'm expecting okay, maybe if I'm a bigger brand, I can expect 12 to 15x. And if I'm somewhere in the mid size, I can expect 6 to 7 to 8x. And under my brand also, if I have five categories, all categories might not jump. It varies from 3, 5, 4, 8, and 10x as well.
Yeah.
That's where I think people need to set really that right expectations in terms of those things that divide your entire portfolio into small, small brands or small, small subcategories, and then set the right expectations, sort inventory, FBA planning, review rating, and then, of course, is your design. Now, second comes a very important is the ads part. 1 to 2 weeks before the supply team, if they have sorted their inventory and all, now the responsibility of running the show is on the marketing team. That okay, yeah, matlab, I have filled up the stock. Now it's your guys, it's the role to sell this inventory. And I feel that the preparation for ads, I feel 1 week is also I somewhere considered around 10 to 14 days. Because the reason is that, yes, you create a week before, but to give that campaign that breathing space, the right algorithm, that campaign also takes 2 to 3 days.
Indeed. Yeah. Yeah.
So, of course, you can make the campaign spend very aggressively in few hours, but I don't want that. I want the campaign to have that breathing, go alongside the algorithm as well. That's the reason I say that the campaign creation should start 10 days before. You create the campaigns and divide that into two. One is consideration, awareness, and third is very important retargeting. Retargeting the users and AMC is spot on. I think there's something I think which Amazon already kicked the ball out of the park by developing Pi for India, which is I
Wow.
think sort of a Brahmastra for Indian sellers using since 2021. How
Yeah.
could someone create a tool like Amazon Pi? I think kudos to the product managers of Amazon, especially from India, and then, of course, it is AMC. Matlab, multiple kinds of audiences you can create. I think you already mentioned added to cart, looked at but not bought. These are again the basic ones. Now we have gone much, much far than this as well. You can, I think, create multiple. So that's why I divide this into two. One is the consideration, the sales campaigns. Second is awareness. And third is, of course, the retargeting one. And then another thing which I usually suggest to everyone, a lot of live calls are also required during Prime Day. And you look at the campaigns, I think every 2 to 3 hours. That's how we do. I think we start looking at 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, what exactly happened yesterday? How is the trend till the morning right now? Then looked at again 12 to 1 p.m. Okay, how is the trend picking up? Then 4, 5 p.m., then 8 p.m. And the reason why I'm saying to look at it, you will see the difference in the fluctuation of your CPC. How is my CPC going up, going down? And that's the reason I suggest to everyone. I think you mentioned regarding top of search. To every brand, I say that let's focus more on the budget of the campaign rather than over optimizing on my placement percentage and bids. Because anyway, traffic will go up. And if the focus is only visibility, then of course, my only focus will be top of search. But if my focus is visibility plus performance, then I think a lot of live calls are taken. And one more reason why live calls are to be taken, I need to have substantial amount of budget for me for that 5 to 12, 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. window. I don't want to go out of budget in the
Mm.
17, 18 hours of the day. I need that budget for that 6, 7, 8 hours of the day. And
Right.
then you take that call, which keywords and all. But I think during Prime Day, if you are going well, then I think your planning preparation would have been solid. You would have looked at search terms, performing well, not performing well, competitor targeting. Surprisingly, the automatic kind of campaigns perform really well during the sale events as well. Sometimes much better than manual as well. And then,
Yeah.
of course, DSP. The role of DSP during event. If someone, I think you'll also agree with me, if they want to see the impact of DSP during event, they need to get started couple of months before. That's the reason I think important is to set the right expectation of especially DSP. Yes, with search and all, you might see performance a week. Because I was a part of DSP ads team in Amazon. So I know how the things brand ask questions on branded because it really impacts your performance over the longer term. When we used to work with both on the DSP side, I could see clearly the performance uptick as well. So in a nutshell, I think otherwise, so this 1 hour will go on this only.
Yeah.
But this is about what I feel that this is a nutshell. Let me know if any other point you want to add in this.
No, so few audiences, if I can just double down
Yeah,
on
yeah, for sure.
going a little deeper, having the audience to pick this up, in your practice. If you've not done this, obviously the structure of the campaign is very important. Getting started with the campaign, as you rightly said, don't start it on the day of Prime. Don't start it a couple of days as well.
Now, over to next, which I keep reading your post. I think from the last 3 months, you've been very active, and we have also started building upon to that internally. Is two words: artificial intelligence versus AI. I think very less is talked about, especially for D2C founders and Amazon as well. And if you see the ecosystem, how Amazon has evolved with AI, their creative studio, Rufus, and then AMC and all these audiences, and you also building your tool with AI as well. I've seen connected with ChatGPT, Claude, which I'm sure is making lives easier for others as well. So for the audience selling on Amazon, how do you suggest for them to use AI to make their lives easier, to make their sales better, or to make their ads much, much more structured so that they can focus more on performance?
Yeah, I think this topic can go up for 2 more hours.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I think this is very much required, especially from Amazon end. I could see very less people. You are one of them who's actively talking about AI in this Amazon space because it can be scary in future. But I don't want to reach to that stage. It's better that I prepare today.
Yeah, thanks, Sunny. I think, and this is my belief as a founder of Amazon agency and Amazon ad tech platform, and we build this internally, and we have pushed one another to invest in AI to make sure that everybody uses AI. In fact, in my organization, from the top leaders to the one who is like an intern who has just joined us in the first month of his career with us, he has access to Claude. The reason being is, and this can be scary, at the same time, it depends how do you take it. It depends what's your perspective. If you do not learn AI, it's gonna be scary for you in the future when it comes to at least ad tech.
Right.
Because I believe that the larger portion of the computation and the processing and the insights and the intelligence will be done with the help of AI. At the same time, when I say AI does that, AI doesn't do it autonomously. AI doesn't do it by itself. It needs intelligent people like you who needs to know what to
Absolutely.
ask and what to
Absolutely.
process and what to compute. Now, to give you an example, I was processing some data. I mean, I'm actually traveling. It's I'm on a holiday.
Right.
Nobody should be on Excel sheets. They all should be on Claude. They all should be
Alright.
working with Claude because that just makes the work faster. So, coming to the Prime Day situation, guys, if you've seen this trend, do not think that your organic sales is doing the magic for you. It's just that your seller central revenue, your seller central sales are given on the day the order comes, but your advertising sales is given to the day the ad click happens.
Let happen.
So click always largely happens couple of days before the actual order which happens. So the day the order happened in Seller Center, it will show you on the 4th, but in Ad Console, it will show you on the 1st. So obviously your organic is going to look sexy on that prime day, and you will start thinking that why did you invest there? So you got to look at that, and you're going to make some conscious decision. Then look at it intelligently, that what is working, what is not working for you, right? And
Absolutely.
so that's how I would like to answer both those questions, that how the organic and advertising sales attribution really is important for every brand and marketer to understand. If you don't understand this, it is gonna make your strategy weird. You're gonna go and talk to an agency or talk to your marketing guy saying that, hey, I'm getting all the orders from organic. Why are you investing there? Right. So that's super important. Yeah. So that's another important thing. And I think, as you rightly asked, Sunny, um, MCP. I mean, as an ad tech platform, we are investing 80% of our energy today in building the MCP more smarter, so
Right.
that it enables marketers like you, enables agencies, it enables brands to do far more and far better with less amount of effort, right? So we're just making it more stronger and stronger. Yeah, I think we can have another session on MCP. I
Absolutely.
would love to talk more on that piece as well. But yeah, that's
Yeah. So coming to AI part, two pieces of point from mine as well. I think especially we've been started using AI more in 2026. I think
uh-huh.
towards the end of 2025. And Claude GPT, yes, I think we also prefer Claude more. GPT is more for brainstorming. That's I prefer more of
Yeah,
as a person. But for Claude much better in content side, much better in reporting side as well. Gives you much better data and reports, dashboards, depending upon what you need and what you require. But I think that's what you said. With AI, yes, things will get easier and risky as well. But people who know AI and who have their foundations very solid, I don't think they will have a tough time because they are already coming up with some solid years of experience. They already know what works, what doesn't work. As rightly you said, that AI doesn't work on its own. We need to make it work. As per the prompt, as per the queries, as per the code that I share to AI, it will run accordingly then. So that depends whether you and me are sending codes to them or someone very new into the industry. With no offense, is are they sending the codes to them? I think the difference will be massive there. The way we analyze the data and the way others analyze the data is huge, massive difference. So I
indeed.
think with if you club experience, good solid experience with AI, I think that is what the combination we'll have in the future as well. And being an ad tech platform, for sure, tomorrow these platforms will do much better. Even on the quick end as well, India has multiple tools as well. But to run the show, you need a person, you need a human brain, you need a mind. How actually it is required to run in the industry. Yes, maybe you can train the machine, but it's very tough, almost impossible to train the machine to 100% without human brains. If we are also not required, then I don't know where the industry will go. That's what I feel that
Oh,
automation with one solid brain is where something I feel.
no, indeed. I think the way I see it is, it's gonna, you know, the way it's gonna meet out here is gonna
Mm,
be a junction where people will only hire those people who has a domain knowledge
domain.
and
Yeah, yeah.
understands the AI, who
Yeah,
understands how to use the AI. Because at the end of the day, AI is very generalist. Is AI, I mean, it's going to take a massive time to build an autonomous agent who
absolutely.
knows the domain very well, right? So
Absolutely.
there will always be a human in loop, and that intelligent domain specialist who knows how to use the AI, that is the point, and that is that person who's going to be very, very valuable.
It's like now, even if I'm an introvert, doesn't matter. I know I have my AI as well to get maybe better ideas, into the system as well. And a fifth, of course, is reporting, which was used to be a very tedious task. Yes, it's still a tedious task, I would say, not as much as it used to be before. But I think with AI, it's started making lives a bit easier with the similar kind of headcount or even bandwidth. We've been now able to cater to more brands as well. That's where I think AI has started helping. So I think thank you so much for giving your time. But
Oh,
I
no.
would like to end with the last three pieces of advice that you would give to the audience who's watching this. It could be a mix of Prime Day and AI, or it could be anything specific to Prime only.
How? I think one thing that I have done in the last 3 to 6 months is obviously using AI. It's like a no brainer. But the other important thing and something which has just changed the way I'm working is using Whisper Flow, which is
Right.
basically, voice conversation.
Voice one.
Trust me, on my phone and on my laptop, I've stopped typing. So I'm talking, and I can talk more. I can type more now. So imagine that, we all have a tendency of typing less, right?
Less.
Squeezing few words, writing short letters and stuff like that. So we are not good at typing long things, right? So
Absolutely.
imagine now you can type more. So Whisperflow has allowed me to do so. And today, I think my conversation with Claude has become so productive, has become so enriching because now I can talk more. So now I
Right.
can type more. So I think one advice that I would give everybody, firstly, use AI in any form or way. Secondly, I mean, use AI every day. If you are a marketer, if you're not using every day, if you're not using AI, you're missing something. All right. So secondly, use Whisper Flow. That's a very important thing. That's personal productivity. Even your computation and data campaigns, what is working, what is not working, why, and look at the trends. Ask AI that what do you find as an anomaly in the last 7 days against the previous 7 days,
Right.
or last prime days against this prime days. I mean, you can do that instantly if you have like an
Instantly.
MCP which can really tell you what was your last prime day's journey, pre-prime day, during prime day, after prime day, for that same ASIN. It can just give you on the go. I mean, imagine if you had to ask somebody to do this for you. I mean,
Right.
it would have been a nightmare, right?
Right.
And trust me, I did that for 10 brands in the last 2 days just by walking around in my holidays, right? So it's super powerful. I mean, you guys should definitely leverage AI for your performance optimization. That's like, you know mind blowing. The other thing that I really wanted to touch upon during our call, which I just remembered and I missed talking about it, is do not blindly go ahead and start increasing your bids. Look at what
Right.
your placement bid adjustment is all about. Because
Absolutely.
I have seen, uh, direct call, hey, increase the bid, increase the bid. I don't have to increase the bid. The placement bid adjustment is already set to 50 to
Right.
100%. So when there is a chance to get top of the search, I will get it. So you can ask your brands to take it easy. They don't have to worry if they see the bids low. It's not the front facing current bid which is getting the bid. It's actually the
Yeah. Yeah.
adjustments which is getting the bid. In fact,
Right.
in our case, we keep the floor of the bid so low and we make the multiplier do the job,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So I
Absolutely.
keep the bid like, 1/10, and I make like 100% or a 200%
Absolutely.
of that base bid with my top of the search bid adjustments. So I think don't blindly look at that. The other important piece that I would say is don't just increase the bid, increase the budgets also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
No matter
That's what
how
I
much
said.
you increase the bid, but the budget is going to restrict, you're not going to get that click, right?
Absolutely.
So both goes hand in hand. Create rule based automations. I mean, I would say create a rule like Sunny, you just said, right? Every 2 hours you go and check. You need to have a,
Absolutely.
I mean, in our case, we have a platform. It does the job for us. Every 2 hours it goes and checks. based on the target ROAS that we've given for the keyword and the campaign. It goes and checks if that target ROAS meets, increase. If the target ROAS is bad, decrease. Every 2 hours it does that. The other important thing it does is after the day ends, it resets it to what it was, because your day was
Mm.
good on the fourth, which is the first day of the prime day, but the next day will not be starting with good. So with your
Right.
highest budget for the end of the day should not be your first budget for the start of the day for next
Start
day.
of the day.
So as the
Absolutely.
bid should not be the same as start of the day for the next day. So it has to reset. And that's something that we've done in Hector as well, that we have reset our budgets and bids so that the next day starts fresh
Mhm.
to what it
Mhm.
was. So I think that's how I would like to sum it. I wish all of you who was listening or will listen to this call to take the advice what Sunny said, and if you also feel value in what I said, use that. That's gonna help you. It comes out of experience by both of us, and that's valuable. Yeah, Sunny,
My
you want
last piece
to
of advice for everyone, which I have now become better now, but earlier when we were in the starting phase, is that emotionally you have to be stable during the Prime Day or even any sale event. Because when you see a lot of live data, since the live data is not 100% correct for everyone, it's not okay to trust the real live data because the day starts very poor and towards the evening, eventually it gets better. So emotionally, you'll have to be pretty much into check and be very stable rather than, okay, chalo, let me more increase the bids, let me more increase the budget. What is happening? Some brand is getting panicked. So a lot of panics happen into this phase as well. I know the sale event is very small as compared to the other festive events in India, which are slightly more in number of days. Prime Day, if you miss the bus on the first day, you've almost missed the race. But I think the that comes with experience. Emotionally, it's very important to be in check, in stable, do proper set of planning, and third, I think that's what Meher said. I think focus more on budget rather than on bids and believe in yourself. I think believe in your planning, believe in the setup preparation that you would have done previously, just because you might come in doubt right on the first day. Because the traffic gets much more better on the first day, either that 12 to 2 a.m. window or towards the latter half of the first day. So if your data is not looking good, during the afternoon, 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., don't get disheartened. Eventually, towards the evening, it would get better as well. And US is for 3 days. So what I feel is that the first day you should park, I think, minimum 30 to 40% of the budget. India is again 3 days. You can park up to like 40 to even 50% of the budget as well. Because the first day and the last day are the best days. But usually the first day is usually the best day. And then comes the second is the last day of the sale. So this is it about from me as well. And last, of course, please use AI. I think that has become pretty much important. Otherwise, if we don't use, we'll be out of the market. कोई नया आएगा and हमें सीधा they'll just kick and remove us out of the market as well because we've all into 30s now. When you enter into that zone, you start thinking, okay, 20s mein koi aayega and they'll have maybe fresh energy, fresh all those things. That's why people into 30s, I am now almost 30 now, started thinking that, okay, I need to be onto my toes in order to compete with all those 20, 22 years guys as well. So for that, I need to use it. I don't have any other option.
Yeah, nobody has. So yes, everybody should use it. Fantastic.
So
Thanks a lot, Sunny,
thank
for
you
this.
so much. I think I'm sure the audience would have loved it. We'll
Yes,
see that. I'm sure we'll get a lot of DMs, comments over the same as well. Feel free to reach out to us. We both are very helpful depending upon your requirement. If you're looking for an ad tech platform, one of the best ad tech platforms, irrespective of whichever country you are, you must reach out to Meher or someone from Hector. They'd be happy to help. Or if you're looking for a performance marketing agency, if not a tool, but maybe a human expertise, domain expertise into Amazon, Flipkart, and of course, quick commerce, you can reach out to me. Otherwise, yes, Mayer is also open to that as well. So, yeah, I think thank you so much, everyone, for
100.
giving your time on a weekday evening.
Thanks a lot, Sunny. Thank you for doing this. Thank you. Really love you for this. Yeah. Thank you, guys.